preparing to live stream, although
Ooh.
we are live streaming.
Ooh.
You never know. You never know what YouTube's giving you. They had us on live streaming for hours on end last night when we were in fact no longer on. So we'll
Oh,
see.
I was on. You didn't know that I was on? I thought
A
you guys knew that.
4-hour show.
I was showing people how to braid friendship bracelets. It was great.
It was funny
I
because
believe you know how to do that, actually.
It said we were like, I looked at it and I'm looking at the ended video that was on one of my monitors, and on another monitor it said you are currently live.
Excellent.
I wasn't. I can't even imagine what you would have heard if I was still live for like that whole time. Like
farts. I assume farts. I don't know.
Like me devouring dinner, like is probably like it because I had a couple drinks, so it was probably really disgusting. Like a gorilla
Dinner
just
was
ripping
disgusting?
bark off of a tree and eat. No, the way I was eating it, it was
Okay.
probably very disgusting.
I was like, man, you're about to get smacked with a shoe. Like you see like a fucking like a claw come slamming in, it's hit you right in the face.
Like Eddie Murphy's mom, right?
Yeah.
You missed me, bitch. One of the best parts in any comedy special ever.
There ain't no green pepper on McDonald's.
The house burger. I love the house burger. And then the Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread.
Welcome to anyone who's joining us now.
I just posted it.
It's getting
just
started.
got out.
We're just talking some shit.
Just got out.
But I think I've got to lead this off as, I don't know, you guys know me well, but I don't think everyone knows me that well. I'm an extremely sore loser. I don't like losing anything, and I'll blame someone else or find something to talk about that is not me losing. And that's what I'm going to do today to start this off. Congratulations to the Minnesota Twins. You still can't win a fucking playoff game.
I was conflicted posting the no win in the Twins graphic on our 108 account, but then I was like, you know what? Fuck those guys. Their fans are such jags and have come at us several times. It's like they deserve it. They fucking deserve it. I'm sorry. They deserve it.
I mean,
we would deserve it too. If we were Jags and we're that amped and there was a great like graphic of our logo and win taken out of the middle of it, that's fucking genius. I don't know who made that, but it's genius.
They can feel free to talk shit to us in a couple of weeks when we're out of the playoffs. All right, that's
right.
That's fine. Go fuck yourself, Minnesota. All right, let's talk about this actual game though.
Ooh, let's do it.
Just like yesterday, let's start off by getting into the Ricky shit. We got to get through the Ricky shit first. And I think it all starts with that lineup, seeing fucking Edwin in the lineup. I got to admit, in hindsight, obviously, Mazzaro would have been the better move. But in all reality, I'm not quite sure what the better move was there. I guess it could have been McCann. I think McCann would have been a better pick, but really, he hasn't been good. So, like, I don't know if that's actually good. We're just really feeling the loss of Eloy. And I don't know, you guys can comment on it. And Beef, you probably have other Ricky things you want to talk about. In fact, I know one you want to talk about, so I'll let you guys get into it.
Well, yeah, first let's talk about Edwin. So they make the decision. They come to the realization in the morning that Eloy's not going to play. Well, he's available to pinch hit, which we'll get to later, whether or not he's really available to pinch hit or that's just a psych. We want to make sure that the Oakland A's don't think they don't have to game plan for this guy at all. Right. They end up deciding to go with Edwin Encarnacion, which would have been real shocking to me because he struggled down the stretch, obviously. But I read James Fegan's article this morning, particularly against a pitcher that doesn't have big velocity like Chris Bassett does not, and throws the pitch mix that Chris Bassett throws. Edwin still hits that type of pitcher just fine and slugs well. And so it looks like the data was backing up that Edwin is the best play in this spot. And now we're talking about James McCann, and I see a lot of smart people saying, James McCann is a different hitter than he was. And so I was just digging back into some of his numbers, and he has been okay against righties over the last 2 years. This year, his okayness is being buoyed by a giant BABIP, and he still has like almost no walks and 30+% strikeouts against righties. So not in my world, not great. Still not great.
I feel like with his massive OPS, like it's really it's not good against right-handers. I believe it's just barely over 700, if over 700.
Yeah, that's the majority of McCann's good numbers are against lefties. So I get not using McCann in this spot.
Yeah.
The other choice, like you're talking about, is Mazara, and you could think, okay, Mazara's looked like he started having better plate appearances at the end of the year, but he didn't hit well at all against either hand.
Yeah.
So they made the decision to go with Edwin. He had an okay first at bat, grounded out to third. His second at bat, he looked terrible. I mean, like I don't know what you thought, my suck summer. I thought he didn't look very good at all in the second at bat.
Not good.
And I you know what? Being the Ricky Stan, I shouldn't be the one throwing the bouquets, but bouquets to Ricky. He fucking nipped that thing in the bud and said, all right, fuck this experiment. It ain't working. We're going to go with Nomar. And Nomar looked much better in his 2 plate appearances. I assume we're going to see Nomar in some capacity tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to second guess Ricky Renteria in that situation. I don't think he's done anything like obnoxiously wrong. I just don't know. I don't believe it.
I mean, if Nomar would have got a walk on that pitch, he would have had a really nice day.
That was a walk. He got fucked. And I feel bad for him because that was just like it was perfect, especially in the Makata at bat, and there was 2 that were like even closer than the Mazzaro one, and he called those balls. Yep. I was like, man, I felt bad for him, and I 100% would have forgiven him for the entire season had he hit a home run, got that walk. I would have loved it. I was like, yes, and then I was like, fuck.
I was thinking about that in his second at bat. I was thinking, what if this fucker hits a home run right now, right? And what if he has a nice rest of the playoffs? How many people are going to be like, well, you can't get rid of this guy.
Yeah,
you gotta keep this guy.
Dude, hey, to quote Raw again, what have you done for me lately? You know, like, I mean, that is exactly what we're talking about here. You're as good as your last good thing. You know, like if you remember that, then you're okay. You know, that's just the way it is.
Tracy, don't even go down that route because people were tweeting at me today about Adam Engel. Do you really think we need a new right fielder next year? Yes, I do.
Of course.
I like what Adam Engel's doing right now. That's a good 4th outfielder. When your 4th outfielder is giving you good production, you got a real good team.
So imagine this scenario, people that are thinking that. Imagine we're going into this playoffs like we are right now. And let's say for some reason, Eloy Jimenez is injured. But we have this right fielder who's really good, right? Because we picked up a guy we picked up Starling Marte, who's now hurt, but imagine he's out there.
We can get him cheap.
Imagine he's out there. And then Eloy's hurt. Now you plug in Adam Engel. That feels really good.
Yeah.
Plugging in a guy whose hand is probably still pretty broken is not as good.
Look at that cat.
There was a kid going through my stuff. I apologize.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes on live, whatever this is.
It's like the video. Guy pulls out a hamburger out of his bag. People are pulling cats away from one side to the other. What's he going to get next? Burrito. Here it goes. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like Adam Engel would be great in the spot where we need him, but Lurie's in that spot because Adam has to start. He's already the starting right fielder. And so now Lurie's in that spot. And like you'd feel a lot better if where Dyson is, Lurie is, you know, and if where Mazzara was, there was a real right fielder that's very good. Like all of these things would make you feel better if seeing who's going to start tomorrow, which we'll get to in a little bit, was actually knowing like today before the game started that tomorrow we would have this guy. Those things would all make you feel a lot better.
Right. Absolutely. So fine. He made a correction there, but then came the real decision that there was a lot
of you to get into this.
Screaming and yelling about on Twitter. There's 2 on and 1 out in the 7th inning. And again, Lurie Garcia's spot comes up, and Lurie Garcia, hasn't played in, 6 weeks, 8 weeks or whatever it is. Started yesterday. He didn't look good at the plate. He did catch the ball in the outfield, looked fine out there. 2 more plate appearances today, didn't look so good. So Ricky decides to go to the bench, which I think is a smart play. You 2 days ago, people were like, yeah, I want to play Lurie Garcia. And by the middle of this game, people were like, I can't believe they're playing Lurie Garcia and he hasn't played in all this time. I'm thinking, well, yeah,
you played yesterday, stupid.
This the roster we got, fam. I mean, like, if anything, like Teresi was mentioning, you just look at it and realize you know what? You don't quite have the roster yet where you're like a championship core. You got the parts start of it. You got the core parts, but you don't have the whole thing blown out. And this is kind of the spots you see it. So he goes to the bench, and I'm watching at home, and I look up and I see there's a left-handed batter strolling up to the batter's box. I immediately just assume it's Yolmer Sanchez. I didn't think he was actually going to pull the trigger on bringing in Zach Collins. And all I had to think was like, Zach Collins was probably sitting there like, wait, me? I'm going in?
Yes.
It's
like,
no,
I just dance, Ricky. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. I'm a dancer. I am not a hitter.
So you guys, I've talked about this yesterday, but again today, I'm in meetings and shit, and I've got the TV on to my right, so I can't necessarily see it. I'm looking this way, but what I do see is my phone light up, and it just says Collins in all caps with an exclamation point for My Sock Summer, and I'm like, holy fuck. Did Zach Collins just hit a home run? And I turn and the fucker strikes out. Like, oh man, I was all excited. I stopped paying attention to what I was supposed to be paying attention to, and I look over and just made my day worse.
Our guy Mansu Lee posted a soliloquy, and I retweeted it and agreed with it. And he said, "Listen, you can't do that to a guy. You haven't given him any regular at bats at the end of the regular season, and then you throw him in a high pressure situation in the playoffs, and just be like, all right, do it, dude. All right, come on, let's do this. Let's see it. Like I can't even tell you the last time Zach Collins got an at bat. I don't even remember. Like I forgot he was on the team.
Let me ask you this question though, guys, and be as honest as possible, because I thought about this and I know how I would answer. If you did see Yolmer Sanchez go up for that at bat, would you, in your wildest fucking imagination, in your dreams, have thought anybody would go, why didn't they use Zach Collins there?
No.
Like, I can't imagine the person that would, even if Yolmer struck out on 2 pitches, I don't imagine that someone would be like, they should have put Zach Collins out there.
Well, no, everyone would have.
I didn't even realize he was on the roster.
Everyone would have been screaming for James McCann.
Said.
Treasy, everyone would have been screaming for James McCann. That's who they always scream for all the time in all situations. But I saw an argument that was kind of funny, because I saw a lot of like, oh my God, this is indefensible. Ricky should be fired, blah, blah, blah. And I saw Tom Fornelli, White Sox, tweet at Pino's. It's not indefensible. It's totally defensible. He goes, you might not like it, but he took a shot there. They're down 5-0.
Yeah.
He's hoping he's got one power hitter basically on the bench there that's a lefty. Yeah. He gave him a shot to run into one. You take a shot sometimes when you're down 5-0 like that. And the best matchups against Bassett are lefties. So he tried it. When I initially saw it and I realized it wasn't Yolmer, I did not think, oh, this is outrageous. I thought, well, you don't have a lot of good options on the bench. And the other thing I thought was, well, clearly Eloy is not playing in this game, because this is the spot to use him. And you realize at that point, it was just a fake the entire time that they could use him to pinch hit. Now, I don't know if they'll continue saying that tomorrow, that they could use him to pinch hit with no intention of doing so. But I mean, I guess you leave.
They even had him pick up a bat today, though. Like
they did. They had
him like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. It's a total fake job.
And then Dyson bats. It's like, what?
When he picked it up, I'm thinking, while Dyson's strolling up to the box, I'm like, he's not going to hit for Madrigal or TA or anyone coming up. Like, I don't think he's entering this game.
I thought maybe he was threatening the umpire. That's the only thing that I really thought. with that. Like, he would limp out there and beat the umpire with the bat. But it had the donut on it, so I don't know that would be the best way to do it.
Well, that would hurt. Hitching the head
would hurt.
I mean, it hurts the recoil, like coming back and hitting again. But like the initial hit would probably be, put another 20 pounds on it. That'll hurt a lot more. So,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to go to the next thing.
I was going to go to the next thing too. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about Nick Madrigal.
Okay.
Because Nick Madrigal he had an okay day at the plate. He did not have a good day in the field.
Man, no.
Or on the base pass.
Or on the bases. Yeah. It was rough on the bases too. Summer, you started off, baby.
All right, I'll start this one off. Okay, he sucked balls. He sucked balls totally today. And we can repeat like what he did. He had the air. that did not look like it hit the lip of the grass and bounced out of his mitt, or there was nothing there. He should have had that play. And the the public broadcast announcers were like, yes, this was he should have caught that. Then he had the base running error where I swear to God, the last person you want to get pissed off on that team is Tim Anderson. And he fucked up, and Tim was so pissed.
Yeah,
he's like,
Tim
your
looked
ass
visibly
should have been a
pissed.
third. He was
Yeah.
so mad at him. And he's just got his head down running, and he looks like, like I mean, like the fourth grader, like maybe playing like kickball and just not paying attention. And then it's like a big high kick to right field, to right. And the guy's going to catch it. And they're like, get back, Tubby. You got to get back, Tubby. And he's not even paying attention. And he's still just chugging. He's like, I'm going to make it. Everyone's going to like me. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then he starts to turn to go back. And then he's like, oh, shit. And then he starts, and then he doesn't go anywhere because he fucked up. And then,
no, my suck summer, you got that a little bit wrong. My suck summer, you got that a little bit wrong.
Was it?
He's trying to steal on the play.
Right.
He takes off and he starts. You can see him on the replay sliding when the ball is fucking hitting in right field, bouncing in there.
Right.
And because he's down, he kind of loops. But he looks and starts like taking a step back, like because he thought it was caught for a second.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And then he couldn't go to third. Yeah, but you made it sound like he was going to get doubled off. He should have been.
No. He turned to look. And he's like, oh shit, it's down. And then he couldn't go because he wasted that time like looking.
Part of the problem.
I'm sorry if it wasn't clear. I'm not high, so I don't know. Like I'm actually pretty fucking with it right now.
Part of the problem there though was that he two things. One, there's no fans in the stadium, so you should be able to hear the fucking ball get hit, right?
Yeah.
And you should not be sliding as the ball's getting hit. You should be looking up either in the general direction of any fielders to determine where it's hit, or looking at your third base coach, who's also going to be telling you where it's going to be hit.
Right.
Instead, he kept slid, still didn't look at a coach, and then peeled around. And by then, it was way too late.
You hear the ball hit that bat, you look to your third base coach. I didn't play baseball very far into my life. I played till maybe I was like 15, 16 years old, competitively.
Yeah.
And I know that. Like if
Not
I know
the
that
relief
shit,
pitcher from the Indians.
Hey, we can't talk about that. All right.
That's why this show's got to end pretty soon.
I'm supposed to be in the bullpen right now, and I'm obviously hammered. And only Mark Burley can get away with that.
That's the thing too. Like the crack of the bat, when we're all at a game and it's packed, if you're not even looking up at the action, when the ball is hit, you can fucking hear it when there's 25,000 people there.
Yes.
This stadium, there's no one fucking there. So you had to have been able to hear
Definitely
that
have to
and
hear
know that something's going on.
The
I
crack
think he
of the
tunes
bat,
everybody out.
the crack of the
Listens to
bat
Sarah
is the only
McLachlan.
thing that has kept people with good tickets alive for the pre-net era.
Yes.
Like, because they'd be doing other shit and they hear the crack of the bat and they go like, oh, is this coming at my face?
Yep.
It better, And so, yeah, you got to be aware of that. His awareness is low. It's weird.
It is
For a guy
weird,
who, everyone has told us that the baseball IQ is just so way up there, so high.
He also airmailed that one to
And he just
Abreu.
acts like he is so high. Like maybe he's got a little Tyler Saladino to him. My sock summer.
Ooh.
Maybe he does. I don't think that's the case though. Here's what I think he needs to do. First of all, I think he needs to get laid. He needs to empty his balls. He's got to fucking relax. There ain't no better way to fucking relax than to fucking get laid. I'm not insinuating that he should go fuck a slump buster right now, okay? He doesn't need to do that. Nick's a little guy. He doesn't need to be sucked up in that thing, okay? Like I want him to be out. Now,
strap a board to him, get him out there.
He is way too excited out there. He's like Mikey in Swingers, calling that girl the first time that he gets her number. He calls her 14 fucking times. And he's like, I'm sorry about that last message. I'm going through this and that. That's him. He is so concerned that he has got to do something right and be right. Like, and it's just like, you got to fucking stop, dude. Just do what you can do. Trust the people you're on the team with you. Trust your third base coach, for Christ's sake, and just be okay. Use that fucking smart IQ you have and stop being so fucking stupid. Now, he's a rookie, so I'm not that concerned. And this is what happens when you have a fucking rookie in a position that he has to make plays and use his fucking brain all the time. He's gonna have to make some mistakes to get there, and he's making plenty of mistakes. So next year he will be there. So I'm okay with them. I didn't really want to trade him. I put that tweet up, but Sox Twitter sucked today because they were losing, so nobody really even said anything. So I was just like, trade Magic, get rid of him. And he fucking made an error right after I said that, and I was like, oh god, we really need to fucking trade him. But no, he's good. He's just too jumpy. He'll be fine. But yeah, today was just fucking horrible. Horrible.
Can I go back to the ball that hit the lip of the infield play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That thing, I had like PTSD because that shit has happened more than once earlier in the season. And I remember Stoney taking up for him also in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
And all I thought to myself, time and place, I actually wrote this in my notes. I said, that shit shouldn't happen more often. One of two things should occur. He should position himself so he's in front of the lip of the grass so that he cuts the ball off before then. Or if you have a lefty like you had up there, he needs to be further back so that the lip of the grass, he's going to get one more bounce after that and pick up the ground ball. And sure as shit, the next time it was Matt Olson again, he was further back and it took a little bit of a goofy hop, but he was back and he caught that second hop and it didn't look good, but he was able to throw the guy out. So maybe Nicky figured it out. Maybe Nicky realized, hey, I fucked up. Here's the learning. I'm gonna do this now.
That's part of being a second baseman, though, man. Like, you don't have to look good. You can get hit with that ball. That's why you're not a shortstop.
Right.
Right. That is the difference between a shortstop and a second baseman, other than usually the arm.
Yes.
But if you look at a guy like Robinson Cano, who made his career at second base, that's the difference. He had a cannon for a fucking arm. He could play second. He could play short or third. But when you got those balls to him, sometimes he just needed to get in front of it. He didn't have he wasn't picking like a shortstop. And Nick's like that. Just get in front of that shit. Right,
and it's weird.
It's weird for me to give advice to him on how to field, because obviously he's a fucking professional baseball player and a much better fielder than I could ever be or ever even think about. But at the same time, he's making these rookie mistakes, and
he's a rookie.
He is a rookie.
Makes sense.
He's a rookie. But and it's tough for us too, because we're for once we're comparing him to someone who is so much better at their position, with Yolmer Sanchez being the guy who we watched for the past few years,
right?
Just be incredible at second base. Like, you never saw Yolmer do these things.
No.
But at the same time, Yolmer's a fucking Gold Glove second baseman, right? He was the best second baseman in the league last year and wasn't close. So like, it's a little tough to see that, and I hope Nicky just keeps improving and gets better and better. But today was rough. But let's talk about, other than that, let's talk about the pitching, because the pitching, Keuchel was not on his game from what I saw. You guys saw more than I did. So just tell me about how you felt about Keuchel today.
Go for it, Love.
Well, Keuchel just wasn't staying low in the zone enough. He was just leaving too many hittable pitches. He didn't walk anyone, so he kind of stayed in his game. And he wasn't getting the ground balls like he normally does, Treasy. No. He was letting them lift fly balls and hit line drives and do things that normally a Dallas Keuchel start doesn't look like. Keuchel start sometimes looks ugly because he'll work a full count and there'll be, there'll be bad misses on certain pitches or whatever. But at the end of it, you look and it's like, okay, he got 19 outs and 13 of them were ground balls and 4 were strikeouts and one's infield pop-up or whatever bullshit. Today, though, they were on him. They knew the game plan. They were hitting him hard. I mean, he gave up a home run to Chris Davis, for Christ's sake. I mean, the K,
right,
not the C, Chris Davis. That would have been a real tragedy.
I was going to say.
The K, Chris Davis, he gave up a home run to. Yeah, he just didn't look sharp all the way through. They kind of hit him. He was missing his spot some. And, I mean, Ricky pulled him in the 4th inning, and I really think it was time. I mean, they just had to get the guy out of there and had to move on to someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
And they moved on to Jimmy Cordero, who was good.
He was awesome.
I thought Jimmy Cordero was good. He came out
very good.
And he's think about that. Just like we were thinking about the Zach Collins thing, where it's like, you haven't done shit all year and now you got to come in. Cordero's coming into a game where it's like, this is the 30th of 62 games that you've pitched in. Everyone out there hates you because you're the garbage man. You're coming in only when we're doing bad and we're expecting you to fuck up. And he comes out in a playoff situation and pitches very well.
Yes.
I was, kudos to him, man. That's fucking awesome. And I've definitely given him some shit this year. I'm sure all of us have. We joke about how his arm has to be falling off of his fucking body at this point. But he came out there and did the job. And you got to appreciate that. You got to appreciate especially the whole rest of the guys that came in after that in a fucking 5-0 game and kept the Sox in it. But not only that, didn't waste the best bullpen arms. I mean, I know Hua came in there.
Cody,
But at the end of the day, you're going into tomorrow with the full arsenal.
Mhm.
You've got
everyone
every
ready.
fucking bullpen arm ready to go. Unlike the A's,
Right.
decided their closer needed to throw 50 pitches today.
Yeah.
But
Bob Melvin said he's available.
He's available
He
for
said
tomorrow.
It, yeah, I
You
saw
know what?
a tweet
I was like,
on Twitter.
yes.
You're
I
damn
pulled
right
the
he's
gift.
available
Yes.
tomorrow.
Bring him in again.
I absolutely want to see someone who
I
just
want
threw
him
50
in.
pitches.
I want him in again.
Give him,
Hey,
hand him
before-
over. Fine. I'm in. White Sox Summer, tell me what you thought about Keuchel.
Before we move
in.
past, I think you guys did a good job. I think what you guys said is perfect and it is fabulous. I'm not really a baseball guy, which is weird because I'm on a baseball thing. But from you guys you guys are really smart. From your perspective, is Dallas Keuchel hurt or is Oakland just that good? That was my question. Like I didn't know. Like I'm like, is he as good or is he still hurt? Is he this whatever? Because somebody said on Twitter, he's like, I bet his back was barking all day, but he won't say anything about it. And I don't know. I don't know if Dallas is that like that kind of. He usually puts something out there just to be like, just so you know, but it's not an excuse. Kind of.
I mean, from that side, my assumption is you will never ever hear him say that he was hurt and he wasn't feeling good that day.
Right.
But at the same time,
he threw a lot of strikes.
Him leaving the ball up and being wild kind of in the strike zone is not his MO. Even when he was, even in his sketchy pitching appearance, especially like last year, it was more wildness than that. It wasn't just a lot of like leaving the ball up. So I would guess that there is some residual,
some lingering
issues
there.
But hey, man, that guy, just fucking put him on a plank, let him sleep for the next fucking week. Because once we beat the shit out of Oakland tomorrow and we go to the next round, I want that guy in perfect health to beat the shit out of the Astros.
Yeah, we'll need him.
Yep.
And he'll have plenty of reason to want to beat the shit out of the Astros.
Yeah, no, it's true. And he should. Now, next, I mean, are we done? Look, do you have anything to add to that?
I think we should talk a little bit about the bullpen and who we saw today. I mean, because like I said, I alluded to Cordero. I thought he did great. We talked about, I mean, Beeflove probably needs to talk about Hua, but at the same time, we should talk about Dylan Cease because Dylan Cease came out and looked pretty good.
Yeah, go ahead, MSS. Give us some Dylan Cease.
I like Dylan Cease. I liked him the way they used him. I like the way that they brought him out. And I think we could even still use him tomorrow if need be. Like he could come in and do the same type of thing. He didn't pitch that much. He came in, he did what he was supposed to do and out. The only thing I don't like, and you guys had alluded to it, now we kind of know who's starting tomorrow. So they can go in and they can look at film and see, look into our man Dane Dunning and see how he's going to pitch, how he's going to approach him.
So let me pose a question to you guys.
You fucking throw a big curveball and you go with the other guy, the big Carlos Rodon. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna guess they don't do that. But I'm gonna throw a question at you guys because I thought Cease looked good and I thought Cease looked comfortable, which is something I don't think we see Cease do a lot. Do you think that maybe this, and I know it's a playoff game and you're using people differently, but is this a sign of something to come? That this might be his lot in life, that he is a kind of a late inning reliever?
You know what? That I don't know. I mean, he has the type of repertoire that if they wanted to have him be that kind of shutdown guy back there, he could probably do it. I mean, he has the traditionally high walk rate, but you usually need the strikeouts to go along with it, which he's been struggling with this season. but there was an eerie calm about him. Like he threw 10 of 14 pitches for strikes. Like he went in there and attacked the hitters immediately. And I don't know, maybe it's just like the mentality difference, Treasy. Like all I got to do is go in here and come right at these guys. And I don't have to worry about what pitch I'm going to use now, because in the fourth inning, I've got to use some different pitch to this hitter. I'm just going to use my best shit right now. And he wasn't able to put any of them away. I don't think he had a single strikeout. You know, they were all batted balls, but he did throw strikes, and there was the wildness that we're used to was just not there. So maybe he's just more comfortable coming in there and saying, I'm just going to unload on you, and I don't got to worry about what it's going to look like in inning 6.
Yeah, and I know, like, My Sock Summer, you got the brunt of this on Facebook with Carson Fulmer, right? I mean, like, where people were like, well, he could be a Hall of Fame reliever, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Still could.
But I think
with 17,
Cease is a different
rough time picking a
different story, because Cease actually kind of fits the narrative of those guys. With, like, they had 12 pitches and they just couldn't pick from which ones to use, and they used them poorly, and then they put them in the bullpen and said, use 2 fucking pitches and be awesome.
Yes.
It feels more like that, but obviously this is the smallest sample size I could possibly pull out here, but like it made me wonder when I watched it, is this maybe where he will be more effective, because he just looked more comfortable to me.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think that could be potentially be something, right? Again, and I will say this, I'm probably the most comfortable with Dylan Cease out of the 3 of us being a starting pitcher, but I felt last year he was rushed in. He didn't need to be there. He probably shouldn't have been pitching. This year he was pushed ahead into a slot 3, and he probably shouldn't be there. And so I feel like next year, if he's not like good and hitting his spots and doing what he's supposed to be doing, that's when we have this conversation, because I think he's still like, with Dylan Cease, we're playing with house money, right? Like we still haven't, it hasn't matured yet. So like, let's just see where he gets to. And because we can always push him to the bullpen. We can always put him in those situations.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. If you're counting on him to be your 5 next year, but you have a couple other guys,
right?
Then what's wrong with making that gamble of him still being a starter? And if it doesn't work out, then it's time to talk about the bullpen.
Yeah, then you figure it out. It's not like Carson Fulmer, we just sucked. You know, like
he was never good at anything. Yeah, exactly.
Just didn't have it. Terrible. I mean, great person, great guy. I would let him date my daughters, but I would not trust him to pitch in a game. So, I mean, I don't want him to date my daughters now.
Eventually,
because they're really young. Yes. I want to clarify that for all you pervs at home. Looking right at you, Wally.
Now, My Sock Summer, you're right about the fact that he's been thrust into these roles and unfairly judged in some respects, because the good hitting core has come up faster than he's matured, sort of on that side. And the Sox, as an organization, weren't prepared to have like this full pitching staff together. It was like, all right, you guys got to learn on the job, you know. And Dylan Cease is one of them guys that got to do it, you know. Dylan Cease still has 3 minor league options. So if anything happens next year where it's like, okay, it looks like he's not one of your 5 best pitchers, he can be sent back down to the minors, and there's no recourse. He can pitch, half a season in Charlotte and determine whether or not, fix some stuff or whatever. But one thing on the bullpen note, I had a question for you guys, and maybe it's not for you guys, maybe it's for the listeners at large. Get these bullpen arms in there. We're fucking eating at 5-0. Some of you, you're okay with retaliation. You know, you saw Jimmy Biceps got a suspension coming for next year. What about fucking throwing at Mark Canah for that catch of Yohan's ball? I thought about it. I thought, you know what? Put one in this motherfucker's ear for that catch up against the wall. I know it's not a home run, but why can't you do that? Why can't you? If you're a guy who's like, fuck that guy, I'm going to throw at Wilson Contreras. Why can't you be a fuck that guy? You made a nice catch in the outfield and fucked us out of a couple runs. Can he do that or no?
No.
Yes. I say yes. And actually, I think it's more effective. I think it's a more effective use of the beanball, because one, you're not going to get thrown out for that.
Right. That's my thought.
The ump is not going to make that connection. They're not going to be like,
now,
oh, he made that good catch earlier. That's why they hit him. It's going to just look like you were wild. But at the same time, it's also going to make the next guy running after a ball going like, shit, am I getting hammered for this? I'm up against the wall. Maybe I'm just going to let this go so that I don't get hit in the neck.
No, I think you can
I
only
don't
hit
really
him.
believe that, but I just
I think you can
want it
only
to
hit
be
him
true.
if he comes down from the wall. And remember that professional bowler that would do the suck it thing or whatever? If he
Pete
does
Weber.
that and he
That's
starts
Pete
like
Weber.
doing a dance or some shit, and maybe they pipe in car wash and he walks back to the dugout, then maybe you can fucking nail him. The reason Contreras got hit, I feel like, is because he not only like threw the bat into the next altitude, he threw it so high. He's also a little whiny bitch and complains about everything. Like that's the problem with him. Like he's just I don't know. Like Mia Khalifa was totally right. Like fuck that guy. Like he should not have done. You can't bitch and complain when people fucking grandstand in front of you and then you grandstand like that and get plunked. Now I agree with you guys. Cordero should not have hit him. It was fucking bullshit. It's Bush League. It's whatever. And I think Twitter felt that same way. But I also think you kind of invite that shit. But I kind of like that Cro-Magnon man, Jimmy Cordero just pegging the motherfucker. Like, fuck him. You know,
See,
like,
I
fuck
think it
you.
works.
I'm going to hit
I
you.
think it works better in this situation because
They never know.
in the home run situation, you gave up that home run. It's your fault that
Yes.
happened.
Yeah.
In the diving catch situation, that's not your fault. You did your job perfectly. And
Yes.
this guy just robbed you of it. You know what happens when someone robs you? They are penalized. And this is the penalty.
Yes. I'm glad you're with me, Treasy. I think we're
I'm
gonna start a thing
100%
here.
with you. Let's start doing this shit. Byron Buxton is first on the list. Oh wait,
Look at his
he's
4
done
times.
playing for the year. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Poor
Oh,
guy.
sorry.
That
Sorry
poor
about that,
guy.
Byron. Damn it.
All right.
You already
So-
got clipped.
First, I want to say this before we get into the last segment, because the last segment we're gonna just have some fun because we need to have some fun after we lose.
Hold
man, 'cause
on.
you
Yes.
gotta get back into your shit. But I want to talk about something real quick. Oh wait, I mean, my suck summer. If you have something,
Are we talking
different to
about
say,
starter for tomorrow or no?
we're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Let's make sure.
Because what I wanted to mention was we don't yet know who the starter is
Oh,
for
we
the
know.
A's,
Oh no. We don't
Right.
know.
We have no clue yet.
and I just want everyone to kind of gather together and hope that it's Mike Minor, but it's not. It's obviously not.
It's not good.
But it's gonna either be Shamanaya or Mike Fires. I mean, I don't see another option,
Mhm.
right? And I know the bullpen of the A's is supposed to be this juggernaut, but we got to it today.
Mhm.
And I got to tell you guys, whatever they pick in that situation, whether it be the lefty who's better and we get to face a lefty,
Yep.
or the righty who, without putting 400 pounds of pine tar on the ball, is not that great.
That's true.
I'm feeling confident about tomorrow against their pitching staff. And I just kind of want to know what you guys think about that. And then I want to know what you think about our pitching staff going into tomorrow. I already gave my piece. I think we got all the bullets to fire. I'm very confident. You guys tell me what you think.
Go ahead, my suck summer. You go first.
I don't care who the fuck we face. I feel like we can go into that against that bullpen. This is them ending this game the way they ended this game restored any hope that I had lost in the first 7 to 8 innings of that baseball game. It was like, okay, these guys are still fighting and they're still trying to make it happen. And if save one, like if fucking Jose goddamn Abreu would have taken one fucking pitch, it might not have been one, it might not have been any
No.
bit different.
He hits what
I
he wants to
fucking-
fucking hit.
And he had a
He's
fucking
MVP
bullet too.
though.
He had
I
a,
just
he had a
want
bullet
him-
as well.
I just wanted him to take that fucking pitch, though. I just wanted him to
No,
take
no.
one fucking pitch.
That's
Anyway.
a hittable pitch. Hit it.
It's hit. Everything's hittable. That guy's
You needed hit-
amazing.
you-
Not
Hey,
everything's
MVP
hittable.
though. He's
That guy
good. He
should
can
have
hit
madrigaled
anything.
that right at second and should have went in the fucking outfield.
All right, whatever. I'll get off this. I still wish he would have taken the pitch.
Shut up.
I I think with this there was a lot of hope restored. I was excited at the end of the game. I was like, okay, and it was not the loss was not as like just total heartbreaking and wrenching. It was like, okay, because it could have been, because if we would have lost 5-0, I would have been like, fuck. But like this one was just like, okay, we had a shot, we could have done this, we have another chance to do it, right? Like Oakland did what they're supposed to do. They're in an elimination game. They're a good team. They did what they sacked up and won. They almost lost. So we almost won. I'm excited that we got Dane Dunning. If he's in there and he's pitching tomorrow, we are putting our guy, our future, out there and betting on this kid. And I fucking like that if we do that. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's any other option for the Sox to put out there to pitch. Like I just feel like he's going to be the guy that's out there that does it. And I don't care who they're up against. I think we can take anybody from their team. I think we've gone through their best two pitchers, and we can go through their third best pitcher. So I don't know. I think we can do it.
Beef.
Did I answer the question right?
For me, for Oakland, I want Manaea because it's a better matchup against the lefty. James McCann hits lefties well. Adam Engel hits lefties well, and those two bats right there are kind of what pushes you from below average offense to above average offense real quick. And so, yes, I absolutely fucking want the lefty. Give me Sean Manaea. I don't think they're going to give it to us, but I would want that. On the White Sox pitching side, you know what? Fuck Dane Dunning. Air out this goddamn bullpen. Give me Garrett Crochet starting.
Ooh.
2 innings out of him.
Man.
Give me 2 innings out of Matt Foster, and let's roll with the rest of it, man. I got a nice, clean Evan Marshall. I've got Aaron Bummer. I've got Cody Huh. I've got Alex Colomé. I've got Chase Fry mixed in there. I've got, if I need Jimmy.
Straight bullpen.
I don't want to throw Jimmy Cordero back in there. He's already gave us enough innings. But you got 5 or 6 good bullpen arms. Yeah, if you need to use Cease, I don't think you'll need to. But I just roll with those guys, push them hard. Fuck it. If we get to an extra innings, then you could turn around and see if you need to use a Dane Dunning. I would not. The reason why I wouldn't use Dunning is because you just saw what the A's do to a pitcher that stays around the strike zone. And that's what Dunning does. Okay. In game 1, the pitcher that throws a bunch of strikeouts and is a problem because he's going to miss a ton of bats, they had all kinds of fucking problems with. So I want the bullpen arms that miss all the bats that they're going to have a bunch of problems with.
Dunning's a high strikeout guy too, though. Dunning's got the strikeouts.
He is,
at least
but he's
this
more
year.
of a control guy. He's a little more, he's reminds me a little more of Keuchel than he reminds me of Giolito. And the high leverage relievers are more like Giolito in that they're going to get a bunch of strikeouts. That's my thought. Right. They're not going to do that, but I would love them to do that.
Give me the final score for tomorrow. Give me the final score tomorrow. Give me each of you.
White Sox win 4-2.
4-2. I'm going to say 7-5 White Sox.
17-0 White Sox. Let's fucking do it.
Are we gonna have some fun with this last little?
Let's have some fun.
Before we do, let's do maybe a little bit of a commercial.
You want to pay some bills?
Let's do a little bit of I'm gonna pay some bills. You know what? Because I'm gonna tell you guys, if you are with us and you want to bet on the Sox tomorrow, I'll tell you where to bet. PointsBet. Go to PointsBet because PointsBet has had lines on the Sox above everything else. Like so better odds than everybody else. They're doing boosts every fucking day for the Sox. They're doing it for the Cubs too, if you want to put some money on the Cubs and then not feel bad when they win. So, but when you're going to deposit at PointsBet, I want you to go and don't use the hashtag, but just go 108ing. Drop that shit in there. You're going to get a bonus. So you can get up to $250. If you deposit $250, you get $250. How about that? Woo. That sounds fucking good. And then you get the boost for the Sox. So get out there, go fucking do that if you want. If you're like Treasy, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't.
How do I get to the site? Just DM me. I will give you the link. You go right to that site.
Sexy.
Remember, 108ing though. 108ing is the promo code. Go enjoy that shit. We've been having fun at that site. All right. Speaking of commercials, I'm at home, right? I've got like Hulu TV. So on ESPN News, I get no fucking commercials. I just get like an ESPN logo up with some jazzy tunes going. That's all I get.
Yep.
And I see you guys messaging about these fucking commercials that are going down. You guys got to tell me about this because I got nothing. I just got like a couple of things from messages. Tell me about these fucking commercials.
I mean, first off, all these guys that advertise on MLB Network that pay like next to nothing for their commercials just got a shitload of play on their commercials because there was a shitload of people, White Sox people, watching this game. So like your normal regular commercials that you would have for like an MLB playoff game, not there. What do we get? We got what's the copper band?
Fit. So
Copper Fit.
You've got Brett. You have an aging Brett Favre and a near geriatric Jerry Rice.
Yes.
Talking about Copper Fit and running around and running patterns. And Jerry Rice is 50 years old and he's like, yeah, you got to stabilize the core when I'm thinking you're out in someone's backyard running and playing catch. Who gives a fuck about stabilizing the core? What the fuck?
This is two professional athletes, retired professional athletes, walking to a sandlot of men that look like they can't play sports. Like we look like we can't play sports. They look just like us. There is no suspension of belief here. Okay. They walk up, but the best part about it is they have wrist guards that have copper magnets in them. They have a back plate that has a copper magnet. They have it on their knees. I mean, they're everywhere. But you know where they don't have one? Right over Brett Favre's dick, so he can still whip that out and take pics of that shit. You know, like he's like, hey, look, I just threw a fucking 17-yard pass to Tommy Jones, who lives up on 15th, and he fucking caught it. Check out my dick. You know, like that's exactly what he can do.
It's like, so that's all I was thinking the entire time. I'm thinking Brett Favre's a fucking Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen play football. And one little dick pic to Jen Sturger, and here's where he is. He's got a fucking copper fit bullshit. Like, what is this? Like, who's his management? It's like, you know what you really need to do, Brett? You need to get out there and get in this fucking bullshit brace that no one believes works and play football.
He sells everything though. Like he's a Skechers guy. He's a Wranglers guy.
I saw him doing some fucking everything. like beard trimmer bullshit. Like it's just like, and it's not like a legit like beard trimmer. Like it was like some bullshit like laser thing.
Yeah, the laser hair removal things. Like, oh, this is fantabulous.
There's no way that works.
I like to clean up my neck
sets
before
my
I
face
go out
on
to the
fire.
farm.
It's fantastic.
The motherfucker can afford to have a barber in his house, I would hope. Or is he like Frank Thomas? Did he make some bad investments? Did he start a country label? Did he start, I don't know what he did. Does he owe somebody money? Is there a Buscante? Is it Buscante or
Buscones?
Is there a Buscone that got Brett Favre over from Cuba that he had to give all his money to, so he has to do these commercials? Like, just fade off into the sunset, motherfucker. Like, you made a lot of money. You have a lot of pride. Like, I don't know. It's like him, and I'll even throw fucking Joe Montana into this bullshit too, because he's the Skechers guy. It's like, what do you need this money for? Like, you have plenty of fucking money. Why do you need more money? Like, what did you do wrong? You did something wrong if you have to do these commercials. Like, when you see me doing a commercial for Copper Fit, you're like, yeah, I get it. That guy looks fucking broke as fuck. It's fat. But I don't get it if I was a fucking MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback. Why? Who cares? Like, I should have money. So yeah, I was a little upset.
So what? So other than that, I feel like there's another commercial you guys want to tell me about, because you alluded to it. It sounded fucked up.
So we're watching these commercials, and I just see out of the corner of my eye, two people on a set in a pop-up tent, right? And there's like, woman is rubbing a towel on her chest, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I rewind it, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's a fucking disposable cleaning towel. And at the beginning, they're like, the CDC recommends that you use, blah, 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 la, 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 and like, because, we got fucking germs everywhere. No shit. There's always been there. Now everyone's just paying attention. And then the girl's like, you just put water on this towel and you wipe it up. And I was like, why do you need a towel inside of a pop-up tent on a set, other than if you got creamed on or something? Maybe it's a porn set. I don't know. So anyway, the next part is a fucking old ass woman in one of the walkers, like from the Life Touch commercials. And she's like, you're like, old people should use them. And she's like looking at the shower, and she's like, oh, I'm not going to go in the shower. I could fall and die. I'm just going to fucking run this thing underwater and wash myself. The fuck you are, man. You're fucking smelly. Old people are fucking smelly. They are dying from the inside out. That is what happens to us, right? Everything inside of us stinks. And we're like, youth is keeping it inside of us. And as you get older, it starts emanating out of your mouth, out of your nose, out of your asshole, out of your ears, everything. So no, a disposable fucking towel is not a replacement for a shower, especially if you're fucking old and you sit on your ass all day. I sit on my ass a lot too, okay? I need to take a shower. I don't need to fucking rub a little thing on me and soap up. But I would say Mrs. Beefloaf won the comment war and all that shit and made the best comment. And feel free to tell it, Beefloaf.
Yeah, she was on point. She was replying to you because you're talking about old people smelling and everything, and she says, Oh, when it's time to wash your parents like that, it's time to send them to a home.
I thought you was talking about you, and I was like, you got to send you out into the pasture, like just fucking get them out. Like
when I'm watching that commercial and you're tweeting that shit, all I'm thinking about is, oh man, those towels were developed to wash Grandpa's old balls and asshole. Like that's what those are there for. They're doing the tame stuff. Like, oh, here your arm or your chest will get clean. No. I know what area that's really for.
if you look them up on the internet, you can watch the commercial, and I think it's a 3-minute commercial, which is not what we saw. That was we were not paying 3 minutes on MLB Network. But like, there's a guy like with a busted up arm, and he's like goes to go in the shower to get in there, and he just kind of goes, oh, I can't do this because I can't get this wet. And then he just pulls out the scrubby and just starts cleaning himself up. And he's like, thumbs up, and it's like,
I like that
smell.
rather than put a plastic bag over the cast and take a shower like a fucking human being. They're like, why would I ever use this plastic bag? Instead, I'll wash my whole body with a paper towel.
Yeah. To be fair, I think they did show it with the paper bag and his arm just like bust through it, like, oh, it's so hard, because that happens. That happens.
Because he's fucking Thanos with the gauntlet on. And just a plastic bag couldn't possibly hold his massive fucking arm.
His arm is like all those spikes, rest in peace animal from Legion of Doom. All those big spikes all over his fucking cast and just like busting out of the bag. And he's like, fuck, man. He's like, I want to be punk rock, but I also want clean arm. I don't know what am I supposed to do. And they're like, scrubbies. You're bad. So it's actually called Scrubs with 2 Z's. So if you were looking into them, go feel free. They might be great if you take a big like juicy shit and you like wipe out. Beefluff, you might want to keep one at work. I don't know.
We should be fair about this though. We should add that they are not yet a sponsor of the 108 podcast.
No, they're
not yet.
That would be awesome.
Can't wait to get that discount code.
If they did use the real reasons that people would use them, like, did you just shit your pants at work? Well, guess what we've got for you.
Did you just get cummed on 17 times in the most latest gangbang from bangbros.com? Pop this on. It's great. Only needs water. And there's tons of water at gangbangs. That's what I hear.
You won't look like you spilled toothpaste all over yourself on the way home. Now, if this isn't the baseball talk you came for, I don't know what is.
I mean, we got to do it, right? I mean, we're not doing a podcast this week because we got a game tomorrow. We got another post game. This is
like damn right.
I mean, we might have to do a draft tomorrow of shitty internet commercials. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't even know what time the game is tomorrow.
It's scheduled for 2:10 as of right now, but I don't know if they'll flex it up to a different time slot because it's going to be an elimination game.
I think we got to wait for the Yankees engines to go, right?
Yeah,
if the Indians win, then that's going to be the late
that'll
game.
be
But if they don't, are they just going to leave the National League to have the late games and then we're still going to have the 2:10? I don't know.
Yeah, there'll be a big slot in there because the Cardinals Padres are scheduled to start at 4 tomorrow, 4 Central. And then no other game is scheduled to start until 9 p.m. Central, Dodgers and Brewers. So that would be a big open spot that they wouldn't be using if the Yankees win tonight. So I would surprise me. I would think they would move the Sox up, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure. As of right now, it says 2 o'clock for the White Sox tomorrow.
The Cardinals are up by 2, mid-7th. So
I would love to see a later game. Like I don't like to have to be working and trying to watch this shit.
Agreed.
But hey, if it's 2 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock. We're gonna get it. We're gonna keep one eye on each thing. It's gonna be great.
If it's a late game, we should have a chat and see if we can meet up somewhere, maybe a hot tub, and fucking watch this game.
If it's a late game, we're gonna go on at like 11:30 at night.
Hell yeah!
And we're gonna be hammered, especially if we win. If we win, you know what? If we win, I'm opening up a Bourbon County Stout. We're gonna drink that for the post game.
Attaboy.
Just you?
Well, I mean, what am I gonna fucking pour it into the computer? You're gonna drink some of it?
I mean, I'll take an Uber. I can't take an Uber. I've been healthy this long. I can't get non-healthy now.
All right, friends.
So
I think that's it for this post game. But I think we're gonna all keep drinking.
Post game,
And
motherfucker.
why don't you guys hit us up with some 108ing tweets tonight, man? I think after a game like that, we could use it. Let's do it. All right.
With the
Fuck
talk to
yeah.
you guys soon.
whiskey again.